Hi, my name is Emily. Welcome back to my channel. My favorite makeup today is going to be a lot of the stuff that we're looking at because today's video is my 2017 favorite beauty releases. So the criteria for this video is any beauty release that came out in 2017. So nothing from last year's holiday season or years past, nothing that's just new to me but old news to everybody else. This is strictly stuff that came out this year. I plan to do a separate list of my favorite makeup in general, which may have some overlap, but definitely has some products that are old hat for other people, but brand new to me that I totally love. So let's get started. For the most part, I am trying to stay away from limited edition releases because it makes it very difficult for other people to get these things because they obviously are not sold anymore. So there would be a couple of exceptions to that, and by a couple, I mean two. So I will be talking about those first, but at least one of those items I do have duplicates for it, so I'll be able to walk you through that as well. The item I do not have duplicates for would be this guy. So this is the Kat Von D Pastel Goth eyeshadow palette. This came out earlier in the year, and then it sold out pretty darn quickly. I found it very difficult to find this in stores. I did order it right away on the Sephora website, and then I saw it in stores for a couple of weeks, but it sold out pretty quickly. This was a lovely pastel eyeshadow palette. I know a lot of people were complaining that, you know, pastel goth, if it's going to be pastel, it needs to have like pinks in it, it needs to have black. If you're going to be goth, it needs to have good colors for that. And then Kat Von D's response that it was more like pastels, like art pastels that you draw with, which makes sense. These do remind me a lot of those. They actually kind of have a similar texture to that as well, but I do really like this eyeshadow formula. This palette is a wonderful way to make a good rainbow look that isn't, you know, neon colored. It's very muted, but still very beautiful. And actually some of my very favorite colors would actually be right here in the middle here. This yellow is not the most flattering on me, but it does look lovely. But I love Clementine as a crease shade. And I would usually mix Meow and Dope together to get this purple pink sort of sunset effect on my eyes as well. And then Doom and Gloom I usually would use to line the corners of my eyes and underneath the lash line. Dagger's not actually one of my favorite colors. It tended to go on kind of patchy, but in the pan it looks really good. It just didn't necessarily work that well. And for me, Skull was a nice white, but if I don't tend to use a lot of white because white on my brow bone looks a little bit funky. I tend to do better with sort of a lighter shimmer wash instead of a stark white color. But overall, I really do love this palette. I also appreciate, of all the Kat Von D palettes that have come out recently, this one is small and travel friendly. I can actually take this places, so I have used this palette a lot. So I'm a big fan, and I would really love it if this came back. I would love this if it became permanent. It's a wonderful eyeshadow palette, but regardless, it is still lovely. If you ever see it anywhere, I would say totally snatch it up. So the next palette we're going to talk about is this. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit. This glow kit is frankly my favorite highlighter palette of the year. I have used it constantly since it came out. This is actually the very first highlighter palette I ever purchased, and it's because I went into the store and I swatched it and I thought it looked so cool that I really wanted to have it. I know a lot of people complain that it has a lot of glitter fallout. I don't find I get that at all. I get why people say it, but I tend to tap off my brush enough that the glitter doesn't stay. I just get that beautiful metallic luster, so I'm a huge fan of this. Now, because this is limited edition, and I know that it's very difficult to get, I think it reappeared very briefly on the Anastasia website during the holidays this year, but I'm pretty sure they're not bringing this back in any way. So what I did instead was I went through my extensive highlighter collection and tried to find a dupe for every single color. So let's see what I found. Okay, so now it's time to look at those dupes for the Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit. So on this side of my hand, you're going to see the Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit here. And on the other side, we have all the things that I have picked out of my collection that appear to be the closest dupes. Some of them are not exactly the same, but you're going to get the same effect, especially on the skin. It is a little bit hard to duplicate the foiled finish of these Nicole Guerrieros because they're a little bit different than some of the other Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kits. And actually, I didn't pick any of the glow kits in order to dupe from. I picked them from other kinds of highlighters instead. So the first color we're going to look at is the top color here. This is Kitty Cat. Kitty Cat is this beautiful pink shade in the Nicole Guerriero. The closest I have to Kitty Cat is actually Rose Quartz. So Rose Quartz is located in this, which is the 2017 Holiday Face Palette from Becca. This is called the Apres Glow Face Palette as opposed to the Eye Palette. This is the Face Palette. So Rose Quartz is this shade here. Rose Quartz has also just been re-released as a single highlighter. It was limited edition from last year and then it went away, but they have brought it back. So right now it is plentiful and easy to get. So if you're looking for a good shade to dupe out Kitty Cat, Rose Quartz I would say is the closest one at the moment. So this next shade we're going to be looking at is Forever Young. This is what Forever Young looks like on my hand. And then over here we have the duplicate. So the duplicate for Forever Young comes out of this. This is the Fenty Beauty Killawatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo. This is the one that's Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. And Fire Crystal is actually the one that I think is the closest duplicate. It's a very similar shine. It's quite lovely. And the third shade we're going to be looking at right here is Daydream. Daydream has a really interesting orange undertone. So the closest to Daydream came out of this. This is the Cover FX Perfect Highlighting Palette. The shade that I find is closest is down here. This is in the shade Golden Peach. So that's Golden Peach compared to Daydream. That's the middle shade right here. And the next shade down right here, this is Forever Lit. This is so shiny it's really hard to get a good idea of what it looks like on camera. It's basically a white highlighter with a blue undertone to it. And I found the closest to that, actually again, we're going to go back to that Becca face palette. I would say that right here you can use the color Icicle. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild would also give you a similar color to Forever Lit, but I did find that the closest would actually be the Becca. So the next shade we're looking at is Glow Getter. Glow Getter is a gold with a bit of a copper to it. And I actually found the closest to that was a different Fenty Beauty highlighter. So this is in Mean Money and Hustler Baby, and Hustler Baby, which is the one on this side, would be the one that's the closest duplicate to that. So that's those guys right here. And then the very bottom shades, these are the hardest to try to find a duplicate for. So the bottom shade is actually called 143. On my face, 143 and Glow Getter don't really look very different, but on my hand they do. So I was sort of trying to find a shade that was close enough. If you go back to that Cover FX palette, this shade right here, this is in the shade Gilded. This is a really good duplicate for that. So if you look here, that's Gilded versus 143. I promise this will not all be eyeshadow palettes, but this next one I do have to talk about, and it's this. This is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I just got this as part of the Sephora VIB sale, and I really love this palette. I think it looks beautiful. The color choices in here are all really interesting and different. I have made several weird, interesting looks from it. I don't get a lot of very simple, basic neutral looks. That's mostly because I can't help myself and I always put a shimmer on. But I'm really loving this palette. I think the formula is wonderful and the color choices are just super interesting and nothing like anything else I have. So I'm loving this palette. And the last eyeshadow palette I'm going to talk about is this guy. This is the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself Cheek and Eye palette. So I'm not positive if this is limited edition or not, but even if it is limited edition, you can still get this now. They're selling it in a bundle. You can also find it on a lot of discount beauty places. I think they might also sell it individually on the Tarte website still. If you can pick this up, especially if it's under 30 bucks, which I think it is right now, it's a really nice palette. It has lovely metallic shades. The colors are really interesting. They go on really easily. I find I just use my finger. This highlighter in the center is not super exciting, but overall the palette itself is just really interesting, really beautiful. And I find it's the first choice I go to when I'm looking for a nice metallic accent. I pick this guy out first. I have purchased some other metallic foiled shadow palettes this winter, but I still go to this guy right now and I just really enjoy it. So in terms of highlighters this year, some of my very favorite products have come from this brand, which is Fenty Beauty. I have actually 5 of the Matchstix, which are the cream to powder highlighters, and I also have 2 of the individual pans. These are split pans actually, so in total I get 4 colors. So I have Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal, which I find looks really nice on my paler skin, as well as Mean Money and Hustler Baby. I love the shades on these. They are glittery, but I don't mind. I don't mind a glittery highlighter. Doesn't matter to me. I know some people find that it accentuates the fine lines and texture on their face. Me being alive accentuates the fine lines and textures on my face, so I may as well wear something sparkly to help me keep going. In terms of the Matchstix, I have several colors for these guys, so let me just swatch a couple on my hand for you. So these are the Matchstix that I actually own. This top shade is Confetti. Confetti is this really beautiful purple iridescence. There is definitely glitter in Confetti. Like a lot of glitter and confetti, but because it's held in that cream, it doesn't tend to scatter all over my face, but I just think the shade of it is really beautiful. The next one down would be Unicorn, which is a really interesting cool lilac color. Below that we have Starstruck, which is my good neutral. I think it looks really fabulous. Below that is Yacht Life, which looks really great as a blush. And under that, that is Blonde. That is my gold highlight. This is what I got instead of Trophy Wife, because Trophy Wife unfortunately does not look very good on me unless I put the slightest amount of product on it, and I tend to have a pretty heavy hand when it comes to highlighter, so it's really hard for me to get it to look good. So I decided I would get a different gold that was a better undertone for me, because the Trophy Wife is a little too harsh on my skin. These are wonderful not only because they look good on their own, but they're also very helpful because if you put these on first, you can put a powder highlighter on top and they'll stick really nicely. So I often will use one of these and then layer one of the Fenty shades on top of it just to get more of a shimmer. So I'm a big fan of these Matchstix. Next up we have this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio. Mine is in Pink Passion. I use this blush all of the time. This is my good everyday blush. This is my more intense, and this is sort of a subtle peachy pink. This one does have glitter in the center of it, but I don't find that I mind too much, but it's something to be aware of. If you're not a big fan of having glitter in your blushes, you might want to avoid this particular one. The other two are matte, and I think they look really wonderful on the skin. I'm a big fan of these blush trios. They're about $30, I think, for 3 blushes. It's a good amount of product, and I don't anticipate running out of it anytime soon. Yeah, they're 3 grams of product each, so I think that's an adequate amount for what you're getting. You might sense a theme in terms of the kind of colors and shimmers and things that I tend to like. So next up we're going to have this. This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancing Drop. This is in the color Halo. I don't wear this as much as I should, but I really do love it. So what you can do with this is you can either add this to a foundation or you can pat this on top to have a liquid highlighter. So a little of this goes a long way. That was like a drop out of the dropper, and that was still way too much. If you put a lot of this on, you're going to look incredibly intense, but if you put just a little on, you get a lovely subtle glow across your face. I loved this one because I'm a big fan of purple and blue, especially in a highlighter or a lipstick or an eyeshadow. I love purple and blue, so if something is purple and blue, I'm pretty much going to be into it. I'm at least going to try it. Not every purple and blue highlighter or lipstick that I purchased this year was a win, but this stuff definitely was. Just look at that, it's so beautiful. I promise this has nothing to do with the bottle being purple, but this Becca First Light Priming Filter is really wonderful. Like, I've been using it the last couple of days when I haven't been using up the samples I'm trying to get through for the month. This stuff makes my makeup look wonderful. It's not just because it's purple, because the purple goes away as soon as you put it on your skin, but I do also enjoy looking at this bottle because it is very pretty. But I really just think this is a great primer, especially for my skin. I have normal skin that's kind of combo. They've got some oily spots and some dry spots, but I find this works really well for me, so hooray! Also, we've got this guy. So this is one of the duochromes that did come out in 2017. This is the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. This is in the shade Sea Siren. I'll swatch that on the back of my hand as well. But I do have a couple different shades, especially if you went through my eyeshadow declutter. Spoiler alert, I did not declutter any of those, but that's what Sea Siren looks like. It's a beautiful pinky purple with this lovely shine to it. There is glitter in this, obviously, because it's a glitter eyeshadow, but the glitter is suspended in the liquid, so it does not migrate to other places on your face. So I'm a really big fan of all of these. I don't have all of the colors, and they're definitely some of the sort of like neutral, pinky, beigey, champagne-y ones that kind of look the same on your face, but in terms of the really interesting shades, these are really wonderful, so I'm a big fan. Something about me, I like to wear a different lipstick every day. I try to pick the most interesting colors. I would like a whole rainbow of lipstick colors available to me. I really love green, I love blue, I love purple, but I'll also do bright pink, red, even nudes if they're like a good nude, that's also nice too. But my favorite lipstick of the year, this guy. This is the Kat Von D Everlasting Glimmerveil Liquid Lipstick. This particular shade is Reverb, so it's this beautiful blue. It's just fabulous. This basically is a one-coat lipstick that gives you this incredible intense metallic sheen. Today I'm actually wearing the shade Rocker, which is an orange, with a little bit of Shockful, which is a bright pink just in the center. I sort of just tap that on. I adore these. They are all really wonderful. They're very pigmented. You don't have to use a lot to get a huge high impact payoff. You can layer these over other lipsticks, so I usually wear them by themselves. But frankly, they're just the most beautiful product I have this year. I own all of them because I was obsessed. It took me most of the year to collect all of them, but I have them because I think they came out in July. So, you know, you buy like one a month, eventually you're gonna have them all. So I wear one of these, I would say, every single week since they came out. I have worn at least one of them. I rotate through the entire collection, and I just think they're wonderful. This is definitely like my top product of 2017, but it's also one of my favorite products just of all time. I love these. I'm going to continue wearing them all of the time. I'm going to wear them far into 2018, and I hope that she comes out with even more shades. I would love a great green. Please make a beautiful green Kat Von D. That would be wonderful. I will totally buy it. So those were my favorite beauty releases for 2017. If you've got a favorite that I didn't mention, put that in the comments below. If you enjoy the content that you're getting, please subscribe, and have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye!